up where Senator Rennick left off as well, and I'll bring you in here, Michael Kroger. Let's just first look at the exchange between Senator Rennick and Kevin Rudd about media diversity in this nation, but also the concentration of newspapers and the advent and explosion of digital newspapers. Let's have a look.
Of the top 10 internet sites in this country, one of them are Murdoch. The Courier Mail, the Australian, the Daily Telegraph aren't there. So how can you say that Murdoch has a monopoly in this country when he owns no free-to-air networks? He has one in the top 10 news platforms. Is this inquiry not based on a lie?
Well, Senator, what I have said repeatedly is that Murdoch has a print monopoly.
That's right, and that's only a part of the news network.
Senator, I'm seeking to answer your question.
Part of the news network.
Senator, I'm seeking to answer your question. I have said consistently that Murdoch has a print monopoly in this country, and that any form of monopoly is unacceptable as a matter of principle.
He makes a good point there. He did say he was seeking to answer that question, but he didn't really in the end. Stephen Conroy, it's a good point by Senator Rennick about media concentration, and we had this debate when the laws were changed recently. What do you make of that?
Well, I think the issue around media concentration has been dealt with by Parliament. It was dealt with when I was the Minister for Communications. It is a legitimate issue. The point made by the Liberal Senator Rennick there is valid as well. The world from 2010, when Kevin was Prime Minister and I was Communications Minister, has changed dramatically. The print world is dying out, not just here in Australia, all across the world. And Kevin acknowledged that it was also caused by the loss of advertising revenue to the tech giants. So it's a very valid point to make that the diversity is less in print, but there is an explosion of content. Now, he rightly also pointed out that the new media code will benefit incumbents. It will be harder with this new media code for smaller, newer companies to establish themselves. So there are countervailing forces at play in the marketplace about diversity of opinion. But what I think Kevin's strongest point is that there is a loss of public interest journalism and the need to support public interest journalism. I think that the whole argument behind News Limited and Channel 9's campaign against Facebook and Google has been the loss of public interest journalism.
Well, let me bring in Michael Kroger here. Michael Kroger, Kevin Rudd at one stage did describe Facebook and Google as emerging monopolies. That ship's sailed, hasn't it?
I think they might have emerged by now. Look, the whole performance was sad. It was delusional. It was paranoid. To go on for almost 2 hours and about Murdoch bias, not once mention the bias at the ABC. I mean, this is preposterous. To describe the Fairfax press as centre-right, to describe the Guardian newspaper under excellent questioning from Senator David Van from Victoria, he described the Guardian as being in the centre. Their viewpoint is the centre of Australian politics. I mean, this is delusional stuff. And what Rudd says is one of the reasons for the Royal Commission is because he doesn't like News Limited's views on climate change. So this tells you what Rudd's on about. This is not about diversity. This is about Rudd trying to get square with people that he thinks did him in. I mean, let's be frank, he was a shocking Prime Minister. I mean, Stephen knows that. Stephen and his colleagues got rid of him on multiple occasions before the electorate finally got rid of him. This is all about revenge for Kevin Rudd against enemies perceived and real. The whole thing was just delusional. I honestly felt sorry for him. I mean, and then as you've said, the thing about Gillard at the end, that the Murdoch press are tough on strong women. I mean, this was 2 hours of our lives we'll never get back. And to be starting to quote Menzies at the end was disgraceful. He should withdraw those remarks. This was an appalling performance. I don't think I've seen an Australian Prime Minister put in a worse performance in my lifetime, and I've been around a long
Malcolm
time.
Turnbull
It's a
hasn't been
sad
on
day
yet.
for Australian politics.
Malcolm Turnbull hasn't had
Well,
his go yet, Michael.
let's see. Let's see, Stephen. But that, mate, that was a shocking performance by Rudd and that was a national embarrassment. Quite frankly, that was a national embarrassment, and I feel sorry for him, to be honest.